Hello, I'm Carmen and welcome to this week's quick tip video. With fall officially here, I know everybody's out enjoying the pumpkin patches or going apple picking or just simply walking around in the neighborhood enjoying the beautiful fall weather. So when I think of fall, I think of the combination of apples and caramel. So today I'm going to show you how to make a super simple salted caramel. So you don't need a candy thermometer or any fancy equipment, it's just 4 simple ingredients. So the first step is to, over medium heat in a saucepan, is to take 1 cup of granulated, which is the white sugar, and melt it over medium heat. So as it's melting, it'll form these like clumps, and you want to take a wooden spoon or wooden spatula and stir constantly so you're not getting any of the clumps to burn. And it'll turn into this amber liquid color, which actually is quite beautiful and reminds me of caramel already. We still have 3 more ingredients to go. But once your once your sugar is completely melted and in a smooth texture is when you will add in the next ingredient, which is our butter. Let me make sure our stove's on. So we're gonna add in our 6 tablespoons of salted butter. So this caramel comes together super quickly. And once the cold butter hits this hot caramel, it does start to splatter a little bit. So you want to make sure that you either have gloves on, like the kitchen gloves, or step back so you're not getting the butter to splatter. So you just want to constantly stir this until it combines, because you don't want it to crystallize or form really lumps in here, because you want a smooth caramel. So I'm going to stir this for about a minute, and then we'll be back with our next step. All right, we are back. Our caramel is nicely combined here. Again, this is just sugar and butter, so we still have 2 more ingredients to go. Our third ingredient is about 1/2 cup of heavy cream. So you want to slowly drizzle this in and stirring while you're doing it. And it will be bubbling up as you're stirring it, and that's completely normal. But just, be sure to wear gloves, step back, and be careful in this step. So you can slowly drizzle, and you're constantly stirring so it doesn't separate and get all clumpy. It's already smelling so good. I love caramel. All right, we'll keep stirring in our heavy cream. And then we're gonna let this come to a boil, and we're gonna let it boil for about a minute. And we're gonna stir it every once in a while. We'll be right back after a minute. All right, it's been about a minute. As you can see here, it's nice and bubbly. It rises up in the pan as it boils. And I just stirred it every once in a while. I wasn't sitting here the whole time stirring. So now what you want to do is turn off the heat and add in our last ingredient. So you remember I was making salted caramel, so you do need a little salt, which adds a nice, makes it sweet and salty, which is my favorite kind of caramel. But if you don't want salted caramel, you can definitely cut down on the salt. I would still add a little bit of salt, because saltness helps the sweetness come out, but you can use a little less salt. All right, so that is our caramel. So now we want to set it aside to cool a little. Set it on the counter here. And while that slightly cools, we're going to go ahead and chop up our apple. So I have just a Granny Smith apple here. Really any apple works for the caramel, but I like using a tart apple with a sweet caramel dipping sauce. And you just want to cut off the sides of the apple, leaving that inner core, because I don't have an apple cutter at home. I know a lot of people don't. And this is just an easy way, so you have the core cut out, and now you can cut your apples into easy slices for snacking. This is also great for different desserts. Like if I'm making an apple pie, I'll cut it like this and cut them into little pieces. And when I'm snacking on apples, I definitely like to leave the skin on. A lot of fiber, a lot of nutrients are stuck to the skin itself. So while the apple has a lot of good for you nutrients, you still want the skin as well. All right, so here's our caramel. I'm gonna add it to our little bowl here. It's nice and silky. You just take your apple slices and dip it in here. It's nice and thin, and it will thicken slightly as it cools, but it won't thicken in the sense that you can dunk an apple in it or make caramel candies for it. It is more like a drizzling caramel. So again, great for dipping sliced fruit in, but you can put it on your oatmeal in the morning or with some frozen ice cream or yogurt. Drizzle it on an apple pie after it's done baking. The options are endless for this very simple to make salted caramel. Hope you have a great fall day.